The first time I played this drum set, man, that was awesome. You never know. No, really, man. You know, like, you just never know what the drum set's going to say in a situation like this. You just sit back there and you go, okay, we're drummers. I'm going to lay down a groove, see what the drums sound like, and see what they want to say. And yeah, man, nice wide open kit. Room's a little loud, I apologize for that, but hopefully it didn't kill anybody. Dan, man, thank you so much for listening. I'll do a little bit more playing in a little bit. I have some notes here because I do have a lot to say, and I don't want to forget anything. We as drummers have tools, and you want to make sure that you show up at the job with your tools sharpened, cleaned, organized, in their proper places. So when you need to go for that tool, you know where it is, you know how to use it, and it's in good condition. It's good working order. Us as drummers have our tools. What are those tools? How to hold the sticks, the rudiments, time, styles, different meters, confidence behind the kit. These are not just tools in terms of like drumsticks, cymbals, heads. I'm talking about what you have internally as a person, as a musician. To be able to learn these tools, you should study with someone. There are some people that are blessed to be able to do this without lessons, and they're just natural, God-given ability. And I hope we all have that. I know we all have ability, but there are some people that just have so much more when they come out of the womb. And it's kind of cool that they have that, but it's also kind of cool when you don't, and you develop that over time, because that's discipline, and that's confidence. You have confidence in yourself to be able to do this. So to have all your tools ready, so when it's time to do something, a gig, a session, play with your friends, open mic, especially like an open mic. I mean, you know, not that we laugh at open mics, but they're super important. That's how you play with people that you don't know. I still play at open mics. It's wonderful. I'll play with people at all different levels, and you have to be able to adapt to that situation. Either rise up because the players are so much better, or you rise up because maybe they're below you in terms of ability, but you want to make them feel confident. So if you can play great and back them up, that's going to rise them up. And I think that's super, super important to be able to bring other musicians up to your level. So like I said, how to achieve and maintain a sustainable career in the music business. Make sure all your tools are available. When you learn your chops, you learn your time, you learn your technique, all your independence, that's what you do in your practice room. Then you have to be able to take that and put that out on the live stage. It can be in front of 2 people, it could be a bunch of folks like you, big stadium, on TV, in a room with musicians in a studio. You have to be able to take that stuff that you worked on so hard and put it forward and not think about it anymore. Hopefully all of those ideas, all of your technique just comes through and you play music. That's what this is about. Being able to not say forget what you've learned, but forget that it's about the technique. How to do this, how to do that. It's about now just playing this thing that we call music. Because that's what we do. We try to play with other musicians and bring them up and rise them up. I believe in my heart that you should be overqualified for the job. So, and what I mean by that is that anytime that you walk into a situation, especially one that you don't know about, you're filling in for a band, you're on call and you go to play a show for someone, you got to make sure your reading chops are together, all this other stuff, but you want to be overqualified. So most people just feel sometimes they just want to get to a level that they can play, and that's cool, that's all good. But I believe that you should be at least overqualified, so that way when you get into a situation that is above you, you're ready for that. The opportunity is there and you can take hold of that. And I think that's really, really important in this business. Your ability to be ready for any situation is super important. I get calls from people all the time, you know, are you available for this gig? Are you available for a clinic? And yeah, I do prepare for these things, but I prepare for these things since I was 11. You know, this is stuff that I prepared for a very long time. And it's not just because so I could be a better player, it's so again, so that way when I play with someone else, those people just look back and they go, hey man, we're good, this is good. You know, we're gonna now perform at the best of our abilities. And I think that's super important to have it so that way everybody in the room is being able to play at their best of ability. If they have to worry about you or that person, the show's not gonna be as great for them. And that's our job, is to make sure that the show is just a great show and everyone really enjoys themselves and all that music comes across and reaches to you guys. So again, being overqualified is super important. Nowadays we have so many ways of learning. The only way that you know, I'm not going to date me, but of course, why not? You all know it's a little older than a few years, right? So, but the only way I could, you know, learn drums is by taking drum lessons with someone at high school and college. There wasn't YouTube. At that time, there wasn't many drum DVDs or videos out. But now we have so many ways to be able to become a better musician, better drummer. Going to lessons, buying DVDs, streaming stuff online, YouTube. So we got that covered. You can learn to play drums, you know, providing you get to the right people. What's really hard to learn is what to do with all that to create, again, a career in this music business. There's not much like mentoring out there. I get hired a lot to, you know, do drum lessons, play live, do sessions, but there's been more of an influx of people coming to me to talk about this topic. And because it's ever changing, especially with social media, you have to constantly be a learner in this new way of getting jobs and creating some sort of network for yourselves. So a couple things that I did to help myself out was, not to reiterate the overqualified thing, but when you're overqualified and you show up for a gig, most likely those people will call you back. If that happens, that guy calls you back. He turns you on to the next guy. That guy saw you play. So there's a lot of people in this network that can help you get work. The problem is you got to show up to the first gig, do well, be prepared, be on time, be a good hang, and when that happens, if they need you again, they will call you again. That's it. And to get those kind of gigs, you just can't show up somewhere and start working with a band. You can go out to open mics. That's a great networking tool to find other players, either at your level or above. That network spreads out, and next thing, hopefully you guys could do some gigs together. You could do a bunch of cool stuff together, you know? So this is a good way. Do not be afraid to go out and expose yourself to these people by just going out and jamming with some folks. Another great way to get work in this business is to talk to someone like myself, another drummer. The drummer sitting next to you, the drummer in the back over there. When you talk to these players and you create some sort of connection, and it's, again, a good hang, a good player, he knows you're a good player, that guy, when he needs a sub, he will call you. I call a lot of drummers when I can't play, and I get them work. And that guy subs for me, the client likes him, turns him on to other people. So do not be afraid to talk to other drummers about this. I don't know if you guys do. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because it's like you're afraid to talk to other drummers. You don't think that drummer's going to give up his gig. Maybe he's not confident enough that when you show up, the gig's going to get taken by the guy that just did the sub. But it doesn't hurt to talk to other players, you know, on your level and say, hey man, you know, if you ever need a sub, give me a call. And I do. I call these guys. I know they can sub for me, so I do know their ability. But it doesn't hurt to talk to these other players. You know, just go through your friend list and go, hey, Jimmy, I know you're playing with this cover band. If you ever need someone, give me a call. And you strike up that relationship. He may never call you, but if he does and you're ready, if you're prepared and your tools are in order, they're sharpened, they're nice and clean, that'll be a gig for you. And that could parlay into other shows, other performances. And that's really important. Again, this is talking to more of the people that want to do this for a living, in whatever way. And let's talk about that a little bit. How can you be a drummer in this business? What are the gigs out there? Do we ever talk about that? You know, like what can you do to actually, I don't want to relate it to money all the time, but if you're going to actually do this for a career and want to do this full time, it doesn't hurt to get paid for it. You know? And I'm not going to go into like how much you get paid, because the grade is drastic. You know, it's from this to this. It all depends. But let's talk about the kind of gigs that are out there for you guys and for you ladies. There's a lot of stuff out there you may not have thought about. Okay, let's talk. Drummer for a cover band. In this scene, in this area, I've been playing with cover bands now for, my first gig was when I was 15. I played in a cover band. And I was on salary to play other people's music. In my mind, I was playing drums. I was playing drums with great players, great venues. I was getting paid for it. I particularly didn't write the songs, so to me, everything was a cover song anyway. If you wrote a song and I played your song, I'm not in your band, I'm just the drummer on your song, I'm covering the stuff that you wrote, you know? So technically, I'm always playing covers, whether it's someone else's. It doesn't have to be a famous cover, you know, it doesn't have to be. So you can make money playing in a cover band. Corporate bands are a little bit different. Usually are through more like legitimate agencies, and those agencies have sub-lists. So you can get on those lists, and it's really easy. You call these people, say, I'm a drummer, this is where I live. If you ever need a drummer for a sub, please keep me on file. And you'd be surprised how many phone calls they do not get like that. It's amazing, because some of the people that I talk to that own these companies will call me and say, hey, do you have any drummers to sub for such and such a band? And I'm thinking, they have a list of these drummers. So I got to give them my guys. These players, I mean, these agencies don't have a running list of current drummers that are available. Make some phone calls. You know, look it up online. Agency. I'm not going to go through all the different names right now, but, you know, I could talk to you later about it for sure. And it's super important. It's very good money. It's very consistent. And the bands are great. They're great players. Original bands. Being in a band that writes their own music. That's a tough gig, you know? I've been in a lot of those too. I've been in a lot where I was the leader of the band, a member of the band, or maybe a hired gun. And it's super gratifying to be able to play music that you as a band wrote. It's your stamp on it. It's your style. This is my song. It's tough to make a living at it in the beginning, but it's totally doable. So finding bands, finding members to put together a band and form an original band is another way, you know? It's a long haul, but it's super gratifying. And again, I've been part of those as well. You'll notice the theme of what happens here is that it's not just one type of gig. It's diversifying and being open to all this. Every student that I have comes in and they go, I want to learn how to play like Steve Smith and be in Journey. I want to be like Neil Peart. I want to be Buddy Rich. And I do too. I'm still trying, man. I'm still trying to do that. I'm still working on my craft. But why can't you be it all? You know? I'm not saying not to master any of it, but be exposed and be so open to this wonderful style of music that we have and style of drumming. So be open to all this. You could be in a cover band. You could be in an original band. You could be in a corporate band. Drum instruction. We need more of them, you know? We need more drum instructors. All of yous out there have something to give to other drummers. That's true. I could talk to you, I could talk to you, you guys could show me so many things. So you could parlay that into a drum instructing gig. Whether you're teaching at home, whether you're teaching at a store, and it's super gratifying. I did start teaching young kids and, you know, how to hold your sticks, and here's the rudiments, and you know, stick control, and you know, Ted Reed syncopation and the new breed and all that stuff. I don't teach as much as that right now because my schedule prohibits that. I love teaching intermediate to advanced students, and that way we can really, really dig into what we play, get a little bit more advanced, talk a little bit more about the stuff that I'm talking about. So I usually like to send students to a store or maybe a local guy, and then when